Hello, loves, and welcome to the Red Hairs and Daffodils Homestead Kitchen. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kate. Just want to say thank you so much for being here today. Got a question for you. Who here loves biscotti? I do. Biscotti is so versatile. It's so crunchy. You can make it with tons of different ingredients, tons of different flavor profiles. It is just nummy, I tell you. Biscotti are known as Italian almond biscuits, and their texture is hard and crunchy, designed for dunking. I am so excited, you guys. I really am. I had to do this recipe. I found Got Milk, the cookie book. Excellent recipes in this, first and foremost. I've got to tell you, by Peggy Cullen. And there's quite a few recipes in here I want to make. But I was flipping through and I found a recipe for, and I'm not making it up, Chocolatti Biscotti. Winner, 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 winner. I can't wait. So, got all my ingredients here and ready. Got our food processor. That's all we need. We need a food processor and our tabletop. That's it. We can do this. So, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, we are going to incorporate three different kinds of chocolate in this biscotti. We are doing semi-sweet chocolate chips. We're doing a Dutch cocoa, and we are including a Ghirardelli 60% cocoa, the entire bar. Hello. Oh, just yummy, yummy. So let's get started, guys. All righty. We already have our oven preheated to 350 degrees. We already have our baking sheet lined with some parchment paper. So that's ready to go to bake the loaves for the first bake. We needed to melt our bittersweet chocolate. This is our 60% chocolate here. We needed to melt this in the microwave and then set aside to cool. And if you guys hear a baby crying, we've got Dobby sniffing the tripod. So the tripod might go here in just a minute because he's my little lovely terror. So he's a good boy. So, all right. Got our bittersweet chocolate melted and set aside. It should be cool by now. I think it's still a wee bit warm. We're going to move on to our food processor now. We are going to combine, let's see, how much flour did we use? 1 3/4 cup flour, and I'll have all the ingredients listed down in the description box too, so you guys can follow along with this in case you need the ingredients written out. That will help you. Okay, so we're going to put the flour, 1 cup of the sugar. This recipe calls for 1 cup of sugar plus 1 teaspoon, and keep that teaspoon set aside because we're going to use that. We're going to use that later on. All righty. So we've got our flour. We've got our 1 cup of sugar. We've got our baking powder, salt, and cocoa. We need 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and 2/3 cup of our Dutch processed cocoa. Not that. That's sugar. Thank you. Grabbed the wrong little container here. Thank you, Lynn. Come back. Okay. I appreciate that. That would have messed me up. Alrighty. It says process for a few seconds to blend the dry ingredients. We can do that. Okay. Done. Next up, we are going to add our cubed butter. We're including a whole stick of salted butter, and pulse the mixture until the butter pieces are the size of lentils. I like that description. I can't even see the butter, you guys. Smells like cocoa. You guys, I can't even see the butter. What's going on in here? What's going on in my mixer? I seriously cannot find the butter, you guys. This is hilarious. Well, there's the bottom of my mixer. Did my butter dissolve? What's going on here? My butter disappeared, y'all. I'm going to pulse it a couple extra times and call that good because I can't see it. I don't know where the butter's at. All right, next step. In a small bowl, lightly beat the eggs, vanilla, and we are not including the instant coffee that this calls for in this recipe. It just calls for 1 teaspoon of instant coffee. I enjoy coffee, but if I have to include it in recipes, I tend to not like the taste of it. It's almost too bitter at times, I find. So this is just a personal choice to not include just that 1 tiny teaspoon. So if you like coffee and you like the taste of it in baked goods, please feel free to add it in yours. All right, lightly beat the eggs and vanilla. And we just need a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I had to break down and buy some vanilla because my homemade stuff is not ready yet until Christmas. So sad. So, oops. Try to clean up as I go. You guys know this about me. Okay. We are adding in our 2 beaten eggs. That would have been a disaster. All righty. All righty, that's done. And our cooled melted chocolate. Nuts are optional for this recipe. I plan to share this recipe with some friends, with Sarah and Jeff, as well as my brother, and then Lynn and I will be enjoying this as well. I'm not sure if nuts are a preference for some of these people, or if they're allergic or anything, so I'm just opting out to not include them, just to be on the safe side. But if you like nuts, please add them in. So I'm going to add in my melted cooled chocolate into my dry ingredients here. You guys, this looks so good. And the smell of cocoa, I'm still absolutely just waffled by the smell of cocoa in this. Just from the dry Dutch processed cocoa, I can smell the melted cooled chocolate here. Good gravy, that smells good as well. I want every last bit of this that I can get. There we go, guys. All righty. We are going to pulse the machine about 10 times to blend. And then we're going to use our rubber spatula, scrape along the bottom of the bowl here. And then we're going to add in our chocolate chunks. And then we're going to pulse it about 5 more times just until the dough is moistened. I'm going to go a couple extra times because it's just finally starting to turn it. And then I think I'm going to use my spatula and make sure that everything is moved around. There we go, guys. Okay, I'm going to get my spatula out here. Just make sure everything is even. Even Steven. I see what they were talking about with this dough, making sure that it's moistened. Some of it's, you can see that some of it is dry and some of it is not. we're going to end up turning this out onto our tabletop and hand kneading it to a consistent log, into a consistent disc. I'm still not 100% familiar with food processors. You guys know this about me, so I'm still trying to learn the little intricacies about them. I know there's nothing to be afraid of or anything. It's a new kitchen equipment for me. All right, I'm going to pulse this just a few more times. Okay, now we're going to get that looks better already. We're going to get our chocolate chunks in, and we're going to pulse it 5 more times, guys. This food processor is almost at capacity. Woo! Okay, pulse it till it wouldn't move anymore. That's a-okay. This is our chocolate. I'm going to be working on my table. So let me just move around a few things here so I can have adequate table space. Everything on here is just chocolate that's been knocked off. And that's a-okay. Alrighty, that's all clean. That's got chocolate on the outside. And that's just chocolatey goodness. Let me just triple check. Okay, turn the dough out onto the table. It may seem dry and crumbly. Using the heel of your hand, briskly and lightly mash the dough to moisten any dry spots. Gather it together to gently form a disc, and then using a sharp knife, divide it into 2 equal parts. This is going to be a disaster. Oh, this is going to be a disaster, folks. This dough has actually got a nice moisture content to it. This dough almost seems unruly and unimaginable right now. There is enough moisture in here, but I don't know how this is supposed to come together, you guys. It's so, I'm going to use the word brittle, but you touch it and it falls apart. Well, it cuts nice, and it really, I don't know if you can see that or not, it looks like one huge cookie. Okay. We need this in a log formation, 12 inches long. I've got my little craft measuring tape in my pocket. So I'm just going to try to gently press this into a 12-inch, roughly, log. Anytime I press down, I feel it with my hands cracking and like giving away, like breaking up. This dough is really, really delicate. I know I keep saying that, but I really mean it. This dough is incredibly delicate. All right, Linny, would you kindly hand me a rolling pin, please? Lynn's helping out behind the camera this morning. I'll take the small one. Thank you. Oh, shucks. You saw how that just broke away from underneath me here. Oh, this may take a minute, you guys. Anytime I touch this now, it's falling apart. I'm trying to be as gentle as I can, you guys. I don't see how the instructions on this biscotti recipe call for a 12-inch log by 2 inches. Why am I twisted? Okay, I'm at 11 inches. There's no way, you guys, that I can get this to 2 inches in width. Those cookies are going to be so tall. This dough won't get done in the oven. Oh, I have my doubts right now. Okay, so I need 1 more inch out of this recipe.
How wide is it right now?
How wide? Our widest point is 4.5.
So it's supposed to be what, 12 by 2?
12 by 2.
But some of the other ones were doing a 3-inch wide by 13-inch long.
I may have to resort to that because John at the Preppy Kitchen, his was
5 by 3.
He made it smaller. Yeah, that's right.
But it was still 3 inches wide.
Okay.
The length is just how many cookies you're going to be able to cut.
Correct. So I try to do my research ahead of time, and I try to look at what other infamous bakers do on YouTube and see what their recipes, how they're written out and baked at and everything.
And
King Arthur Flour Company,
3 inches wide as well.
Yes, they did theirs 13 inches long by 3 inches wide. So I think we're going to stick with that. I'm going to bake one of these to start with. I'm not going to do both at the same time. I think I'm going to shoot myself in the foot by doing that. I just don't want to, if I ruin the first one, I don't want to ruin the second one.
How tall is it right now?
How tall is it right now? That's a good question.
Because they say between 3/4 of an inch and 1 inch tall.
3/4.
Okay. So King Arthur didn't recommend going any shorter than 3/4 of an inch because then it's going to be too.
Should I try to squoze it together to make it like 1 inch tall?
I think we should be okay.
Because this is a really dense dough.
It's going to dry out a lot too when you bake it.
Yeah.
Because you got to bake it twice.
Because it's going to be crunchy and hard for dipping. Okay. I think I'm good. I'm going to call this one done. Should I go ahead and do the other one too? Okay. My cameraman is telling me go for it. So we're going to go for it, guys. I didn't think that was going to move in one piece. Ooh, buddy. All righty. Let's get started on our second piece, and then we'll sprinkle our sugar at the very, very end. Alrighty, loves, what do you think? Got both of our logs done and ready. I'm going to sprinkle. I'm going to wash my hands first real fast. Okay, we're going to sprinkle this now with our teaspoon of leftover white granulated sugar. And then we are going to plop this into the oven, and we're going to bake this for exactly 40 minutes until the log springs back when gently touched. We're going to remove it from the refrigerator. We're going to remove it from the oven. And then we're going to do our famous line, hurry up and wait. We've got to wait for 30 minutes before we do anything else. Keep your oven on though, okay? Because we're gonna cut this up and then we're gonna put it back in the oven for that twice baked effect, so that these get nice and hard, nice and crunchy. These remind me of some of the Christmas cookies that you and I made together with that chocolate dough that was rolled in sugar. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Those were absolutely scrumptious. Alrighty, loves, we got our sugar on here now, and we're going to go ahead and get this into the preheated oven to bake for 40 minutes. Our oven timer just went off, so let's get these biscottis out of the oven, you guys. My goodness. Look at those, you guys. They smell so good. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's get that oven closed. We're going to keep the oven on. And we're going to go ahead and let these sit now. They've been cooking for 40 minutes. We're going to go ahead and let these sit for 30 and cool down a little bit because we need to get some structure imbued into them from the baking process to cooling down. This dough, as you guys saw, is so darn delicate. So we need it to cool down a little bit before we cut it into the biscotti logs. Flip them on their sides and then bake them again. So we'll be back here in 30 and you guys will see me with a happy face and holding the knife. Be back here in just a few. We are back. These biscotti loaves have been chilling on top of the stove and on top of the counter here for probably almost a good fat hour. So they've really cooled down. They've been they're pretty hard. I was able to pick it up and move it without the aid of a spatula or anything. So that's, to me, that means good news. But they're nice and hard and crunchy. So that's exactly where we want them. I just cut off 2 pieces of the biscotti, and they're still like cookie, even though they were in the oven for 40 minutes. They're still really soft, like a nice soft chewy cookie inside of it. I was impressed. For 40 minutes, I thought, okay, well, these are going to be hard as a rock. They aren't yet. So that's got to bode well for a good biscotti recipe. So we've got a visitor in the kitchen. Hi, Luna. Hi, baby girl. She's just walking around and saying hi to everybody. So if you hear her little tiny meow, she's a big girl, but she's got the softest and tiniest meow. Okay, enough about the babies. We need to get both of these loaves cut up. It says in the instructions to cut them cut each log crosswise on a slight diagonal into 1/2 inch thick pieces, discarding or eating the end pieces themselves. So these will be disposed of properly, and the rest of them will be baked again for our twice baked Italian treats. Gotta love it. So let's get to chomping these into some slices here. And we're not putting them on the bottom again. We're actually going to flip them on their side so that the soft pastry portion of it, the soft cookie portion of it, has a chance to bake and to dry out some. So let's get to chopping. For some odd reason, I'm cutting these and my knife is going at a diagonal. I know I'm supposed to be cutting these at a diagonal, but it's my knife's going a little wonky on me. So I don't know. Oh, and before I forget, the instructions did say to use a good serrated knife, so that, because these are pretty hard. I'm using some pretty adequate force to push my knife down. So it's the serrated knife is recommended. Oh, shucks. I'm getting down to the end of this loaf and my cookie just separated. We'll just set those pieces aside and we'll have to taste test them. And I don't know if you can see it, but we still have all that beautiful sugar on top of the biscotti pieces, and it It didn't brown, it didn't do anything. It's absolutely perfect. Just trying to keep my working surface clean. Let's move over our other loaf. Put those in the middle. Let me wash my fingers real quick. I'm not transferring chocolate everywhere. All of the chocolate chips in these slices now, they're melting. They're still warm from being in the oven and everything, and that's where a lot of my, outside of the chocolate crumbs, my fingers were coated in melted chocolate chips. So that's fun. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and get these into the oven for 15 minutes, back at 350. See you here in just a moment. Alrighty, loves, our oven just went off for our last 15-minute round. Let me grab these. Let me grab the baking sheet here. Oh my goodness, these smell so good. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. There we go. Alrighty, loves. Once again, I'll link the book down below in the description box. Again, this is from Got Milk, the cookie book. And this book really has a lot of good recipes in it. If you can check it out, I really highly recommend doing so. These cookies have to stay on the baking sheet for about 10 or 15 minutes so they can not finish cooling down, but start to cool down and harden up a little bit. And then we'll get them transferred over to our cooling rack, where they can then have air circulating around them and finish hardening up to that crisp and hard cookie that we oh so love and adore, that makes it a biscotti. So as always, if you don't mind liking, commenting, subscribing if you're not already following us, any engagement that I have with you guys is much appreciated. And I love getting the comments and responding to the comments that you guys leave. It really means a lot to me. So it's nice to know that there's other people on the other side of this camera and that you guys are watching. So it means the world to me. So on that note, hugs and loves, and I'll see you at our next video.